Hello, welcome back to 4th grade Math Corner. This video is on Module 6, Lesson 8. The learning target for this lesson is today I will express decimal numbers in different units. Remember, units are different ways to express or different units of measure. In decimals, remember it's like a place value chart, so we use the places as our units. Here I have 2 ones and 4 tenths. I want to use an area model or area models to express 2 ones and 4 tenths in different ways. 2 ones and 4 tenths as a decimal is written 2 and 4 tenths. I want to see how many tenths are in 2 ones and 4 tenths. So here I have 1 whole, and here I have another whole, and then I'm going to color in 4 tenths. This allows me to see how many tenths are in 2 and 4 tenths. If I look here, this has 10 tenths. And in this hole, there's another 10 tenths. Excuse my dog, he wants to play. And here, there are 4 tenths. Oops, excuse me. Sorry. And then I sorry, he's trying to get my attention. I have those together, and I have 10, 20, and 4. There are 24 tenths. So I could write 2 and 4 tenths as 24 tenths. I can also regroup these as hundredths. So that's another unit I could express 2 ones and 4 tenths as. So let's see. I'm going to keep it colored the same, but now I'm going to cut it into hundredths. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I already know that 100 hundredths makes a whole, and since these are my 2 wholes, I have 100 hundredths here, and 100 hundredths. Oops, I guess I should put my TH so I know that they're not hundredths. And then in my 4 tenths, each one was cut into 10 hundredths. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40 hundredths. Pardon my handwriting. And I want to put them together or add them together to see how many hundredths 2 and 4 tenths would be. So I have 100 plus 100 is 200. Plus 40 would be 240 hundredths. So I could use an area model to find out how many, or to decompose them to see how many tenths and hundredths. Another way that I could do this is on a place value chart. I could have made my 2 ones and my 4 tenths, and then did the regrouping. So I would regroup this one as 10. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I just regrouped that one. And now I'm going to regroup this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now I would count. Here's 10, 20, and 4. They would be 24 tenths. I could then regroup them as hundredths by breaking each into hundredths. That's a little trickier that would make a huge full place value chart. So instead, I'm going to write it as a fraction. I'm really good at fractions. I've had a lot of practice. So 24 tenths, and I want to turn them into hundredths. So to get my 10 into 100, I have to cut them or regroup them into 10. And since regrouping is cutting them, I'm going to times it by 10. And I know that 24 times 1 is 24. And I put the placeholder for the 0. So 240 hundredths. And that's what we have up here as well. So you could use a place value chart, multiplication, or area model to show this. Once you do a lot of practice, you'll get really good at it. And then you won't need them. On your problem set, you have a couple of different ways to practice. You will have the area models. Here on this problem set, you're going to be doing homework, but on this problem set, it has me changing the hundredths into tenths, and then into ones and tenths, and then into a decimal. So here you would just have to cut these into hundredths, and then color in 250 of them, count how many tenths, so you're composing. Maybe thinking of it as division. On the place value chart, you just show your place value discs, and then do the regrouping. So for example, here on this, on this problem, it says 1, and 3 tenths equals how many tenths? So all I would have to do is regroup that 1 into 10. And now I have 10, 11, 12, 13 tenths. Here you're trying to do them into hundredths. So you would draw your 2 tenths, your 3 hundredths, and regroup them into hundredths. If you go to the second page, notice this is your problem set, so it's different than your homework, but looks the exact same. You're going to try to figure out, now that you have a little bit of practice in the front, what is 1 as tenths? Well, we've already learned that if we have 1 and we decompose them into into tenths, you need 10 to move places. 2, you would need 10 2 times, so that would be 20 tenths. If I had these 1 and then I gave it to 7 more for 1 and 7 tenths, 10 and 7 more would be 17. Then I'm going to come over here, and I know that 2 tenths is 20 tenths, and 9 tenths would just be 9 more, so 29. And then here I have 10 wholes. I know that each one is 10, so if I have 10 times, it would be 100. And then the 7 more, I would have 107. Some of you might be noticing a pattern with the whole numbers converting into tenths. 20 wholes would be 10, so I have 20 times 10 tenths in each one. So I know 2 times 1 is 2. I bring my zeros, so they are 200. Plus the 9 that are already there would be 209 tenths. This number 4 is a little bit different just because it's hundredths, and we know that 1 whole broken into hundredths would be 100 hundredths is 1 whole. 2 wholes broken into hundredths would be 200 because there's 100 in each. This 1 whole would be the 100. The 7 tenths, here's the tricky part. 1 whole would be 100 hundredths, and 7 tenths, remember each tenth it would regroup into 10 hundredths, so that would be 70 hundredths, and I put them together and it would be 170 hundredths. The 2 wholes we said up here are 200 hundredths, and the 9 tenths, remember the 9, I would break into 10 each because then that would give me hundredths, that would be 90. So those are 90 hundredths. I'm going to go the 200 and the 90, and that would be 290 hundredths. And the pattern will continue. Down at the bottom, you are just turning them all from decimals to the mixed number to the tenths to the hundredths. You can use any strategy you would like. So I know that 4 and 2/10 would be written 4 and 2/10. I need to turn all of them into tenths. I know that each whole is 10/10. So I'm going to go 4 times the 10. So 4 wholes times the 10 would give me 40. But then I would have the 2. So then I need to add them together. It'd be 42 tenths or 42 tenths. You could write it in unit or fraction form. 42 tenths. I know that I would have to break each of those tenths into 10 pieces to regroup to the hundredths place. 42 times 1 is 42. Put the 0 as the placeholder. 42, and these are hundredths. Or I could write that as a fraction with 420 over 100. I'm going to keep my pattern continuing. Remember, each time I regroup from one place to the other, I'm going to have to break them into 10. So when I write my 8 and 4/10, remember I'm going to do the 8 and break them into 10 pieces to move to the tenths place, and that would be 80 plus the 4 that are already there, so it would be 84 tenths. And then those 84, I'm going to break all of them into hundredths. So I would go 84 times 10, and I know 84 times 1 is 84, and the 0 is the placeholder, and these would be hundredths. You can write it in unit form or fraction form. I hope this helps. Let us know if you have any questions.